the snail and the whale. This is the tale of tiny snail and a great big gray blue humpback whale. This is a lot as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. And the sea snails slither all over the lock and get at the sea in the ship in the dock. And as she gets a sniff and sign, the sea is deep and the world is wide. I long to sail, said the tiny snail. They are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the moose black rock and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wiggle, sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed. They cried, "I got it, I hit your left." This is the tray of the tiny snail, a silvery tray that looped and curled, and said, "Light won't murder the world." This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars are bright. A humpback whale is medley long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and curling capes and shooting sails and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the serried sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." That is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail at the tail to towering icebergs and the far of land. With a fairy mountain and golden sand. These are the waves that ocean crash. They formed and broke and sprayed and splashed a tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery wavy fins and shark will hit above to the green sword and the whale and the snail on its tail. This is the sky, though vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with thunderstorms, with zigzag lightning, flashing, frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the world. And they get the sky, the land, the wave and the cave and the golden sand. He gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and he said to the whale, "I feel so small." But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboat running a race, jigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their exacting lure, making it swim too close to the shore. This is the tide slipping away, and this is the lying beach in a day. "Kick off the sand back to sea," cried the snail. "I can't move on land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt terribly small. Then I got it, he cried, and started to claw. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. This is the bear on the score in the pay, ranking the children in their plate. This is teacher holding her talk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the bird as black as the sun, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. A snail, a snail! The teacher turned pale. Look, said the children, grabbing a tray. This is the tray on the tiny snail, all silvery, tail slaying certainly. These are the children running the school, fetching the fire and digging a pool, squirt and spray to keep the water cool. This is the tide coming into play, and these are the villagers shout, hooray! As the whale and snail travel safely away, back to the dock and the flock on the truck, who said, how time flown and have been new ground. And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale on shimmering ice and coral caves, and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so snare and free with the looping, curling, slippery terrain, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held on his tail and clawed snail after snail after snail. And they sank to the sea as they all sat there on the tray of great blue humpback whale. Bye-bye. See you next time. See you next time.